Right, comrades, I'm delighted to be here in Liverpool with my shot of Northern Ireland team, Stephen Pound, who's sitting over there, Tommy McAvoy and Judith Cummins. They're a team of talent and experience. I have every confidence in their ability to help me, to help you, to make Northern Ireland a better place. And I speak for the entire Labour team in thanking Vernon Coker for the great work he did in Northern Ireland. We in Labour can take great pride in the work that we did in building peace, stability and prosperity in Northern Ireland. And Northern Ireland, we all know, has come a long way since the 1990s, when I was first involved with the trade union movement, when we worked together and we worked hard to help deliver the peace process. And working with this party, we coined the phrase, we are a non-partisan agent of change. And that's the phrase that has and will guide my work in Northern Ireland. Make no mistake, comrades, our party, indeed our whole movement, transformed the lives of people on both sides of the Irish Sea in the moves to peace. And we must never forget that. We must never stop reminding our opponents of that. And the role played by great women like Mo Mowlam at a national level, Hillary Clinton at an international level, and Inez McCormack, the trade union leader in Northern Ireland, it was a model of how to engage and how to convince people to move back from the brink. It was absolutely no overstatement last week when at the TUC Congress in Brighton, Peter Bunton, who is the General Secretary of the Irish Congress of Trade Unions, said, "The trade unions in Ireland prevented the Troubles turning into an all-out civil war, and we should be proud of that." He was absolutely right. And it's that legacy that we've inherited and we have to live up to today. We have to get back to what we do best and make the moral case for social justice. And if we get that right, we can start turning back the tide in Northern Ireland, the tide of insecure work, of high unemployment, of an education system failing far too many young people, and of the stark reality that since 1998, more people have died from suicide than were killed through the years of the Troubles. When I heard that last week, comrades, I had to stop and think, is this really true? And the sad reality, it is true. And it's true not just in Northern Ireland, but across our whole country. And it's people like us who will reverse that trend. Now, I don't want to paint a picture of despair completely in Northern Ireland. It's a great place to live and work, and its people are the most honest and genuine on earth. But they are, like us, shaped by their history, and we have to accept that and work with that. We have to show much more understanding and empathy than was seen in the Cameron years, where he's more interested in getting back to play tennis with Boris than sitting down and showing the people in Northern Ireland he genuinely cared about their future. A child born in 1998, the year the Good Friday Agreement was agreed by people on both sides of the border, that child would now be 18 years old. Now, these children of what at the time we called the peace generation and the institutions that have brought the peace are now reaching adulthood. Young people in Northern Ireland have lived a life unlike that of their parents' generation. They have experienced peace, but they've still not fully benefited from the peace dividend. We need to ensure that young people in Northern Ireland are equipped with the skills needed to get on in a modern economy. In recent years, we've seen 30% of job vacancies remain unfilled due to skill shortages, and this is most prevalent in Northern Ireland's largest and most successful companies. It's a disgrace that 20% of our young children are leaving school without being able to read or write properly. And it's intolerable that in an education system where all that seems to matter is getting children through tests and exams, we have a situation where children's access to specialist education is rationed by the sparsity of educational psychologists. It's got to change, comrades. We have to fight to ensure we build up a skills base right across Northern Ireland. Skills training must help those from all communities and backgrounds to aim to help those the system has failed for far too long. Young men and women from the Shanklin and the Falls, from the Bogside and the Fountain. We have to help all in Northern Ireland and not just the lucky few. And in particular, comrades, we have to find a way to live a better life for the working class Protestants in Northern Ireland who are left completely adrift by political elites who have no idea what their lives are like on the ground, the tough lives these people are living, and they have to vote for people who have no recognition of what they're going through. Conference, if Northern Ireland is to move forward, the government in Westminster must be there to support when needed. The British government as a co-guarantor of the Good Friday Agreement, along with the Irish government, have an important role still in supporting Northern Ireland to push the peace process further. And now we have to work through the other challenge, that we've got to get the best possible deal for Northern Ireland as we prepare to leave the European Union. And make no mistake, comrades, Cameron's Northern Ireland Secretary of State in Northern Ireland, both of whom pushed hard for Brexit, were hard-right ideologues, and their dogmatic approach has led to this. They've put the border at risk. They've severely damaged the economy of our closest and oldest neighbour and partner in peace. And they're given sustenance to those who are determined to break the United Kingdom apart. Getting this under control is the #1 priority for us in this party as regards Ireland, and it is no easy task that faces us and people right across the island of Ireland. The whole of the peace process has been hugely underpinned by the European Union in a multitude of ways, most of which it would appear the Tories seem completely oblivious of. The most obvious issue is whether or not we have to really seriously look at going back to border points where we have checkpoints and passport controls on the border. What a negative view that would be. But at least as difficult, when you go over there and speak to the people on the ground, is to quantify the day-to-day issues of people that affect them in their lives, working backwards and forwards across the border, accessing public services on both sides of the border, and doing their daily lives. None of this was thought through by two Secretaries of State who were adamant in support of Brexit and stopped their civil servants from doing any work to put forward a plan that could be put in action if the vote went the way that they wanted and we didn't. The people of Northern Ireland need a Labour government to ensure their lives and not once again become dominated by ideologues who put their views before anything else. Comrades, peace isn't enough. We knew that in 1998, and it's still true today. We need to build real social justice so we can help communities where young people can maximise their potential, where workers can feel secure in the workplace and at home, and where everyone shares in the real prosperity of our shared nations. And there are a list of long-standing issues that still remain to be resolved. A woman's right to choose, a proper system of human rights, and the morass of problems that are the legacy of 30 years of conflict. The truth is, comrades, the Tory government won't do anything on these issues. It will only happen when we see the return of a Labour government. And as Carwyn just said, we'll only see that through a united Labour Party. This is our historic mission. We can't allow our present-day problems to take us and the great people of Northern Ireland backwards. So let's come together this week and put the needs of our people before anything else, unite and go forward on a journey.